So let me, first of all, Hawken, my son, is 6 now, and since he could talk, his favorite joke is, these are my balls. They're balls. They're like balls. They're shaped like balls. These are my balls, like nonstop. And so he would very much approve of this sort of. And this is basically like me at 12 being like, if I ever get a room of 1,000 people, I'm going to make sure to make a ball joke in front of them. So, and there's a reason for this. So everyone, not everyone, I apologize. I think we only had like 700 balls, so not everyone got a ball. But there's fuck no and shit yeah balls. Everyone on this side should have gotten a fuck no ball. Everyone on that side should have gotten a blue shit yeah ball. If you look at the ball, there's a couple guys with 2 balls in their hands, which is a little bit unsettling because they're kind of rolling them around. I have to remember this is on video, so I can't make any really inappropriate gestures here. Look at your ball. There should be a few that have either a black heart on it or a silver heart on it. Does anyone have a ball with a heart on it? You! There, come up, come on, hurry, we gotta do this fast. Come on, hurry. If people don't hold them up, you're not gonna win, and if you, all right, come up. Everyone, there should be 3 on this side, 3 on that side. Go over here, grab, no, see that, I knew this would happen. I said a black heart. This is a blue heart.
Fuck, I don't listen.
All right, so how many we've got? All right, well, we're just going to have these 2. I guess there's two people who didn't win. So go over there, grab some T-shirts quick. We're going to play a game. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be a human target. And we did a test last night, and these things fucking hurt. So I am luckily going to Whistler after this, so I have my snowboarding helmet along. And I'm going to put a helmet on. And there's a reason for all this. This isn't just me indulging my ball joke. Just hold on. All right, get shirts on. Hurry up. Let's go. So what's going to happen is those 4 or 5 people are going to stand right here in the front of the room. I feel ridiculous wearing a helmet in front of you right now. They're going to stand in the front of the room. Watch this. This is pretty sweet. What? And they're going to be the damn right team. You guys are shit yeah. You guys are fuck no. People have been here before. We did this yelling thing. Well, they're going to try to yell damn right when you're yelling shit yeah and when you're yelling fuck no. And you guys have to scream louder than these motherfuckers, all right? So get up here. Come on. While that's happening, anyone who hits me with a ball gets a beer. So you can hold on to your balls tightly, or you can try to hit me, and Grace will be running down that side of the room, and where's Tom? Oh, Tom's over there. He's got a bunch of beers. So anyone who hits me with a ball gets a free beer. So, all right, you guys are? All right, let's go. And when they yell, you yell. All right, 1, 2, 3. You! All right, you guys, come here. Oh, come on. All right, and you. She's happy, come on. Ladies are more fun than guys, come on. Oh, you guys stop yelling. Fuck no, shit yeah. Fuck no, shit yeah. Fuck no, shit yeah. Fuck no, shit yeah. Oh, Jesus, that's enough. That was just bullshit. Oh my God. All right. Where are the girls that came up with me? Come here. All right, these girls didn't have seats in the back, so I thought they should get some seats. But here's the funny thing, they think they won. Now they can't fucking leave, so. And apparently they have to share a chair. You can sit on the, do you prefer Bud Light or Miller Lite? Only the finest brewery is here, so. All right, distribute. Here, you take this one.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you guys can be seated. Yes. So, all right, so there's a point to all that. Holy cow, you guys are mean. That was like, I'm pretty sure my kidney is bruised by some asshole. There's a guy back there, in the way back, I don't remember his name, but he denied a ball earlier. And I was like, fuck you, like, take a ball. And now I just went back there. He smoked me in the face with a fucking ball. I could have security remove you, all right? He's right behind you. So anyway, all right. So here's the point of all this. I always give a couple disclaimers. Obviously, there's swearing. Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about. I started this company right out of college. I'm 39, so I've been doing it for a long time. I've never worked anywhere else, so what I'm going to talk about works for me, it works for the companies I'm involved in, but it may not work for others. I should have really thought about the fact that I would be really out of breath after running around the room. I was going to use you guys as human shields, but like, I've decided that would be mean. But one of the things I wanted to bring up is I want to make the shit I talk about practical. I don't want this just to be stories and, you know, portfolio pitches and all that bullshit that a lot of these talks are about. And I think that's why a lot of people come back every year, is because I didn't know you were a Mets fan. That's nice. You've been here before too, right? So I want to make it practical. And so I want to talk about things that actually will give you actionable advice or direction on things. So let's start with a little bit more of an overview. So for those that were here before, fuck no is all about saying no to beget respect, to position yourself as authority, to defend yourself and defend your decisions, but ultimately to turn yourself into an expert that has the ability to say no to people. Shit, yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, if you say no to everything, like, you're never going to get anywhere. So you have to say yes to a few things before you become in a position to actually say no to anything. So shit, yeah, was a lot about saying yes to opportunities, saying yes to taking risks, figuring out what risks are worth taking. When you guys finish your drinks, you can leave the stage. And yours? Yeah. We'll get to that in a second. So shit, yeah, was all about, you know, nothing comes from no. You have to say yes every once in a while. And so damn right is the fact that I sit in front of you and I talk about all these rubrics and these structures for how to make decisions, but at the end of the day, I still lay awake at night in angst over fuck, I failed on that today, or shit, like I said yes to something I should have said no to, and we all do it. People give us shitty feedback, our bosses suck, our colleagues are dicks, whatever the case may be. So like, not at our companies, everyone's super nice, but, and the boss is awesome. But, so damn right, people read, like I've been trying to write this book for like 6 years now, and this has been the working title. And people always hear it and they think damn right is like, fuck yeah, damn right! And it's not that at all. It's like, damn, right? Like you don't know what the fuck you're doing and you don't know if you made the right decision or the wrong decision. And so damn right is all about success and failure, yes and no. But the fact is that success and failure are all about context. So that was actually the whole point of this shit show that just happened in here, is that those first 6 people that came up here were like, fuck yeah, I won. And then 2 assholes didn't even come up. So I don't know, like, I can't frame that. They're just never going anywhere in life. But, so I found a fucking Powerball ticket on the street this morning. I'm retired. Like, this shit's gonna pay off. Or I have herpes on this hand now. I don't know. So, so we called those whatever it ended up being 4 or 5 people up, and they felt like they were winners, right? Like, hey, I succeeded. But then the context became, now I have to scream against 600 people and feel like an absolute asshole. And then these people came up here and were like, fuck, I won, I get to sit down. But then they're like, oh, I'm trapped next to this lunatic on stage, and I gotta smile the whole time. And then we handed out 100 or more beers to everyone here, and there were 10 of them, like this beautiful young lady Erin here had, which had Campbell's mushroom soup in them. So those people really fucking lost, because you can't leave the room until this is gone. Not you, the people out there. You were brave enough to come up here. So that's what damn right is all about. It's about kind of living with the fact that you're going to be wrong most of the time. So I'm going to do a little bit of a rundown on fuck no, then I'm going to tell a little bit of a story, then I'm going to go through shit yeah, and then I'm going to tell a few stories that kind of illustrate the damn right principle. So I did a little bit of background on what fuck no was just a minute ago. You guys saw this slide last year. It's basically the philosophy of our agency entirely. So, we give our clients solutions, not options. And you could, whether you're a creative person or whether you're in any organization, you're asked to give people, you have a role to play. And instead of giving people options, give them solutions. And that's what fuck no is all about, is present a solution and defend the fuck out of it. Preempt people's questions. Think about why you made the decision and justify it before they even ask. Because that is the best way to position yourself as an expert. Secondly, and you can apply this to design, you can apply this to marketing, you can apply this to manufacturing, whatever the case might be, I always tell people, talk about the what and the why, not about the how. How is an expert's job? How does the logo get designed? How does the UX get designed? How does the assembly line get set up? How is the burger made? Like, how is the sushi made? Like, that's the expert's job. What and why is, we want a Facebook ad that's going to convert at this rate, that's going to drive traffic to this site, and we need that because we're trying to build this demographic, whatever. How is the whole strategy behind that, and that's the agency's job. Whether in manufacturing, focusing on, there's the Six Sigma system where they talk about the 5 whys. If you ask why 5 times, you get to the bottom of what the fuck's going wrong. That's what we're getting at there. Make people focus on what and why, don't talk about how. And then the last thing on this slide is kind of corollary to that, but stop talking about how design looks and start talking about why design works. And that, again, that applies to design, but it also applies to anything in life. Just stop worrying about the execution, worry about the justification. So I'm going quickly here because I want to move on to the stories about damn right, and we wasted a bunch of time throwing balls at each other. So this story, some of you, who's heard this story before? 5 people. That's awesome, because I was like, fuck, I don't like repeating stories, but you guys, screw you. You'll like it again. So this is a really shitty design done 17 years ago. When Eurostyle was okay to use. So this was for a company that makes telescoping aluminum poles called Gerlich. And this was in the very fine publication Broom, Brush, and Mop magazine. They've been awarded many Pulitzers. And so the CEO of the company emailed me after seeing this comp years ago and said, let's change it to reach the sky. And I was like, no, I don't agree with that. I didn't tell him, but I got the email. And so I wanted to read you the email that I wrote back to him to give you an idea of how you say no to someone to foster respect, build yourself up as an authority, and position yourself as an expert. And so I sent him 2 PDFs back, or we did as an agency, this one and another one. And I said, please note the difference in the headlines in the attached PDFs. While I agree that reach is a more literal description of what these products do, I wanted to share some alternatives and some associated thoughts. One sec, I've said this before, so some of you guys have heard this. I write hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of super angry, unbelievably inappropriate emails that never get sent. My drafts folder has like 3,700 emails in it. Don't email someone back until 24 hours later. That's always been my policy. And that's why there's 3,400 emails there, and that's why I have successful businesses, I think, because when you threaten to punch people in the throat in emails, it doesn't generally end in good business. So anyway, this is the edited draft 24 hours later. Be mindful, the best print advertising leverages the lexicon of the day to engage an audience via relevant, universal, and efficient vocabulary. With this in mind, I'm sure you recognize touch the sky as a common phrase derived from the nearly ubiquitous reach up and touch the sky statement in countless songs, poems, and and successory posters. On its own, touch the sky has also been used relatively extensively in the aforementioned media as well. Generally speaking, this original headline satisfies the criteria above. It utilizes vernacular in an intelligent and communicative way. Reach the sky does much of the above as well, but it also leaves itself open for interpretation, which in light of the lexicon of today might be a problem. That is, while this option is an understandable truncation of reach up and touch the sky, and potentially conveys the very same message, it also reads as the misworded version of the very common first line of most muggings. Reach for the sky, motherfucker. In fact, reach for the sky line is so pervasive in cinema and TV, I would wager that 8 out of 10 people would read reach the sky as reach for the sky without even realizing it. Just another perspective for you. Please let me know what you think. And the other PDF had reach for the sky, motherfucker, at the top of the ad. And he has that framed in his office 17 years later because he thought it was so funny. It's behind his door, so not everyone sees it. But that was, not only did it foster respect, did it kind of diplomatically and humorously explain to him why his idea was stupid, it kind of like built a relationship between the two of us, and we're still friends to this day. So that's an example of how we use fuck no. So now, on to shit yeah. Shit yeah I'll be a little bit quicker about. I think I told the story last year, this intern we had right before South by. I took her out to lunch, and she asked me if I had one sentence that, it's so funny when the new slide comes up, it's just like you fuckers are doing the wave or something. They're beautiful slides. Chris Walker designed them. He's fantastic. Let's give Chris a round of applause. This intern, like, do you have one sentence that is like your credo, your mantra? And I was like, and I spit out, because I heard someone say it the day before, nothing comes from no. And she's like, oh, wow, that's really deep. And I was like, yeah, that's it. That's the one. But I mean, that's the whole point. It's like you say no to something, it's done. There's nothing comes from no. I don't know where I heard that, but it's truly kind of, I realize that does apply to a lot of the business philosophy I have. I say yes to everything, unless it breaks my rules. And I have a very simple set of rules, and I'll go through those later. But the reason I say yes is because you may say yes to something, an opportunity, a conversation, a relationship, a trip, whatever the case might be, and it may go horribly fucking wrong. But something is going to happen next. And you don't know that it's going to go wrong, and if you can measure, is the opportunity worth it, and does it break any of my rules, you can use that rubric or that structure to make a decision moving forward. So some of the rules that I have. I don't work with fucking committees. I'm on a number of boards. I hate it. I just hate not dealing with a decision maker. And so that's something as you get older, and as I've gotten older, I've had to bend that a little bit. But I try to avoid ever working with groupthink or decision by committee. I always, if we're working in a client-vendor relationship, we always work with and connect with and present to the decision maker. There is one person in your job that you know is the person who's making the decision on what you're presenting. If that asshole isn't in the room, don't waste your time. Because it's your job to position yourself as an expert and to make sure they know why you're doing what you're doing and why you're recommending what you're recommending. And if that asshole or that guy or that woman isn't in the room, then you're actually not only wasting your time and his time or her time, but you're also putting someone else in the position of presenting your ideas. And you know sure as shit they're not going to do as good a job as you are. So that is the decision maker thing. We don't work with architects. They're assholes. One of my good friends is an architect, and he hates it when I say that. I'll get a text message in like 11 seconds from him. If anyone ever asks you to give them a good deal now for an opportunity later, especially if you're an agency or if you're a consultant, fuck them. Just say, how about this? How about I do the work for my regular rate or what I'm worth now, and when we do a lot of work and when we succeed because of how good a job I did, then I'll give you a discount. That sounds better to me. Unless it's an equity opportunity, which we'll talk about later. One other thing, we have very specific requests and demands. The way we work is we always work. We don't do spec work. whether it's as a consultancy or otherwise. We get paid for what we do. We're lucky that we can say no to a lot of work, but we just don't believe in it. I could go on for an hour and a half about spec work, but that's not why you're all here. And I also hate it. I hate it when someone gives a personal referral and you have the talent and the resume that would fulfill the need, and that's not good enough for someone. If someone you know says this guy or this girl is worth working with, and your resume says you have all the credentials you need, what the fuck are you waiting for? Like, why would someone not hire you at that point? So that's one thing we avoid. The last thing on the bottom here, hustle, charm, give. Hustle, I don't know how to say this without being inappropriate. Don't be a pansy. Don't complain. Fucking work hard. Like that, to succeed, it's what it takes. You gotta hustle. Don't sleep, especially not here. You can sleep next week. It's like, this is where shit happens. Charm, make people laugh. Be authentic, don't kiss ass. Like one of the things I'll talk about later is I have an enormous imposter complex. I get in front of a room like this, and I look at every single one of you, and I'm like, why the fuck aren't they all walking out yet? Wow, oh fuck, like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I have a degree in zoology. Like they don't know that. They know that now. Fuck, why did I tell them that? And so I just, be authentic. It's disarming, it's engaging. Swear. It is unbelievable, uncanny how when you swear in a conversation, all of a sudden I'll come out of this talk and some adorable grandmother will walk up to me and be like, fuck yeah, that was awesome. And it's like, huh? Like people, I mean, I'm not saying to be completely inappropriate. You have to read the context of like the meeting or the room you're in, but it's science. Like it disarms people to be a little bit cavalier. I have a script. Like, I'm sorry, like some of you have seen me talk before, like know what works. Like when I feel like I'm losing you guys, I'm gonna tell a story about my, kid doing something stupid, and you'll laugh, and you'll come back. And like, read the room, read the meeting, try to be, engaged, but also have your fucking taglines, have your mantras that you use, the things that I showed you earlier. Nothing comes from no. Talk about what and why, not how. Like, and stick to them. There's no shame in saying the same thing to 100 different people 100 different times. You say the same thing 100 times to the same person, they're gonna get annoyed with you. But give, be generous. Like, I didn't have to give all you fuckers beer. Like, there's no reason for that. Like, it's just fun, right? And like, and send thank you notes. Say thank you to people. Say please. Be polite. It's incredible how powerful that is. And smile. Like, the three of them in the back were like, oh, yeah, like they're super excited about like some dipshit running at them, like to make them, and like it's disarming, it's empowering. So that's shit, yeah. I know you gave me a remote and I haven't used it at all. I'm really sorry. So those rules work pretty well, but I still, like I said, I threaten to punch people. I still lay awake at night. I still agonize over things. And though I might seem like I have some things figured out, I absolutely don't. And so, first of all, I'm obviously a complete spaz. Like, you can tell that. I just did like a barrel roll in the middle of a conference room. And so a lot of therapy helps me to not be so crazy. But I have a lot of like structure and sort of, like I said, kind of rubrics that I use to deal with things. And so I want to talk about some of the things. Hey, Alyssa, I noticed you were here. I see so many people that have come for multiple years, and that's fantastic. So things that cause stress. Yell some out. Like, what stresses you out? Mets fan. Nothing stresses him out. This guy's fucking a rock. Like, what? What? Okay, well, feedback. I talked about that earlier. Workload, timing. How about, like, deadlines? How about negotiating? How about relationships? Have you guys ever had a fucking significant other? No stress. It's just all sex and rainbows and unicorns. It's fantastic. First impressions. Did I make a good one? Okay, good. Passive aggressiveness, lack of integrity, people being douchebags. Like, did I do that? I hope not. So I'm going to talk about some of those things. So first impressions. That pretty much fits with the shit yeah stuff I was just talking about, right? Like, when I meet someone, whether it's at South by Southwest, whether it's at another conference, whether it's in the, like at a concert, at the beach. I live in Hawaii, by the way, so. That's. We have a studio in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so that goes over really well all the time. Like, whether I meet anyone anywhere, I talk to everyone. I have no problem walking up to anyone in any context, and it's because I'm open to the conversation. I smile. I ask them lots of questions. Because of the whole imposter thing, I'm reticent or hesitant to talk about myself. I don't like doing that, and that's also disarming, I think. But you don't want to undersell yourself either. So first impressions, be open, be engaged, and what's the worst fucking thing that happens? You walk away, and you know you made the best first impression possible, but, you know, who cares about them? So you guys did a horrible job with the yelling things out, so I'm going to just take control here because I have the talking stick, and let's talk about feedback. Okay, so whether it's your boss, a colleague, a client, people give shitty feedback all the time, right? And so, like I said earlier, ask them to speak in what and why, not how. Frame it in that. Frame it in earnest conversation. People don't want to be assholes. Like, people are good. You wouldn't think it by the dumb emails you get every day and by the shitty direction you get from your bosses or your colleagues, but in general, they're not doing it to be a jerk. They're either too busy to really fully think it through, or you haven't positioned yourself as an expert, so they're not, they don't know that you've thought about this for hours on end, and then they give some cavalier, shitty piece of feedback back that hasn't been thought through. So that's why I say preempt the conversation with thoughtful comments. So what I mean by that is when we present, and I use design examples because it's what I know best, but you guys, I'll trust, can translate this to other schemas. Like when we present a logo to a big client on a huge, high-budget project, we give them one fucking option. It's a solution. We don't give them 20 things to choose from because we're the expert. They hire us to provide a solution. And so how do we do that? If we just slid a piece of paper across the table and was like, huh? Huh? Like they'd be like, fuck you, how much did we pay for that? So we spend hours and hours and hours getting to a solution that we're really confident in. And that means we go through 1,000 different internal reviews. We take 3-4 days to present a presentation, a book, or a 30-slide deck if it's a remote presentation that we give, and it justifies every decision we've made throughout the process. And what I'm saying is we preempt a lot of their misgivings. We preempt a lot of their questions because we answer them in that presentation. We say, all right, a great logo has the pleasure of recognition and the promise of meaning. Look at all these. You'll see how this doesn't have that instant get. Boom, 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 boom. And we build the argument such that when we reveal that hero, that solution, they're already thinking along the same lines as us, and they ask questions and they engage in a way that is earnest and that is not cavalier. And I'm trying to get at the point where, how many people in here are creative in some way or another? Okay, so most, let's say over half. At some point this week, every single one of you have been asked a question or been given some piece of feedback where someone said, did you think of maybe trying this? And you said, in your head, you were like, yeah, that's the fucking first thing I thought of, and it's the stupidest fucking thing that we could have thought of. And they're not saying that because they're mean or they might be misinformed. It's just because they're not an expert, and that's the first thing that pops into their head, right? And so to try to preempt that by educating them that, hey, I've thought about this a lot. I've really put my passion, my heart, all of my soul into this. Here's what I'm presenting. They're not going to come back with, like, just some off-the-cuff shitty comment. Wish I had a better example for that, but I don't. So do with that what you will. All right, next, workload. I said don't be a pansy, work hard. Like, what does that mean? Well, a lot of people really like to hear about my daily schedule because they think it's interesting. And it's pretty cool for me. Like I said, I live in Hawaii. I am the founder of Ocupop, which is why did we move forward to this? Oh, because we're doing, I completely didn't even look at this line. Give me one of your boots, John. Ah, Jesus. So this is taking a step back to shit, yeah. These are disgusting. Oh, wonderful. So 7, 8 years ago, I'm a total germaphobe, so this is awful for me right now. Like, I just touched the bottom of this boot, and that is all I can think about. And now I'm trying to remember which hand it was, so I don't touch my face with that hand. All right, so 7, 8 years ago, actually it was almost 9 years ago now, my little girl, this is one of the things that my mom got really mad at me about. I was rocking her when she was an infant, and she was, the thing that I said last year that made my mother very angry was, babies are fucking terrorists. They don't let you sleep, right? And so I was up in the middle of the night rocking her, and I was like, am I like doing anything that this little angel is going to be proud of with my life? Like, we were helping rich people get richer with our agency. We were doing a couple of nonprofit jobs, but nothing terribly remarkable. And this boot is not one of those things. But what I did come to was I want to do more cause-based work. And if we're so fucking good at all this marketing, design, branding, UX, UI, app building, everything else, why are we doing it for other people? Why aren't we doing it for ourselves? And so 9 years ago, I started to take some of the money that we had made and started to invest it in other companies and started to start other companies. And one of those companies, so a lot of that went towards open source software. A lot of that went towards sustainability-minded, to the cause-based side of things. I don't want you guys to think like I'm a total hypocrite. Like, I actually have done good things. I think my daughter will be proud of me. Maybe not because of the ball thing, but otherwise, I think we'll be in good shape. But one of those companies was Lenona Shoes. And they're based out of St. Paul, Minnesota, and a partner and I started it. And it was very much a shit yeah moment. Like, he wanted to quit his job. I love shoes. I'm more of a sneaker guy than a boot guy. I agonized this morning about whether I should wear some Lenona boots, and it's supposed to be like fucking 90 degrees out, and he's from Canada, so I made him do it. But the long story short is, we started it a year and a half ago, and it's succeeding. And like, it's such a fun thing to be a part of, and it never would have happened if I had made a decision based on, I'm already so fucking busy, we have so much going on, I don't know anything about the shoe industry, and it was very much a shit yeah moment. All right, now I'm moving on. I'm so sorry, that was disjointed there. So we've skipped a couple of these slides. We're back to stress. So daily workload. I get up at 4 a.m. every morning. But I live in Hawaii, so we're 6 hours behind the East Coast. Fuck, that happened this morning. Shit, that sucks. We used to be 5 hours, like during daylight savings, or not daylight savings times, it was 5 hours. Now I have to get up at like 3:30. So that sucks. The summertime isn't as much fun. But what happens is I work from 4 a.m. to 6:30 or 7 a.m., then I take my kids to school, done with that by 7:30. Then I work from 7:30 to noon, or have lunch. And then from 12:30 till 2:30, I finish up my day. And so that ends up being 10 hours. It can be 12, 13 hours if I need to. But I'm done at 2:30 in the afternoon. And then I go for a run, or I go for a surf, or whatever else the case might be. And it gives me the opportunity. And then at night, I can hang out with my kids, and hang out with my wife, and have a normal life. And what I'm getting at is that I would much rather sleep 4 or 5 hours a night and have a normal life than the alternative. And so I don't know if that inspires anyone to change your daily schedule, but it's certainly been powerful for me. Meetings. People fucking hate meetings, right? So I don't know if I want to reveal these secrets, because there's people that I work with in here. I don't do meetings on Thursday. No one I work with knows that. I've just fucking ruined that. No, but here's the key. I don't let anyone else ever fucking set a meeting for me. Ever. I don't care if it's the CEO of a huge company. I don't let other people set meetings for me. How do I do that? Not by being a dick, not by being a prima donna. I preempt it. I get ahead of it. If I know I'm going to want to meet with someone, instead of saying, hey, when's good for you? I say, would Thursday, or not Thursday, never Thursday. I need one day to get shit done. Would Tuesday at 2:30 work, or Wednesday at 4 p.m., or Friday at 10 a.m.? And they're like, oh, wow, I guess 10 a.m. on Friday. And it's incredible. You can get, you're being proactive, you're being friendly, but you're also controlling your own destiny. And this isn't a new concept, but then I can pack meetings in too. And so I've had an admin assistant over the years at different points, and they've done this, I do it myself. You just make sure, I say, I want 4 hours of meetings a day, and I want them between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, Hawaii time. And that's when everything gets booked. And then I have everything else, so time to do what I need to do. And no one, like I said, I'm serious. Abby might know that. But no one else I work with knows about that rule, because outside of the admin I used to have, because it's not even something that has to be said. I just put it out there being proactive. So use that. You guys aren't drinking your beers. Come on. Does anyone else want a beer? Let's take a little break here. Who wants a beer? All right, your job, since you didn't drink you hand out those beers. She's being punished because she did not drink her mushroom soup in a can, warm. I wanted them to get Clamato, that really disgusting shit, or Smirnoff Ice. But apparently, okay, here's the thing. Texas doesn't sell beer before noon on Sundays. I had no idea. And so we went to buy beer this morning and had all of it, and we got to the counter at the mini mart or whatever out where we're staying. And the guy behind the counter was like, I'm sorry. And I tried to bribe him, and obviously he's going to lose his liquor license or whatever. But so then we had to hustle and get this in 15 minutes before the talk, and so we had slim pickings. I'm sorry for that it's not better free beer for you guys. Apologize. So I talked about the imposter complex. I like hearing beers open. That means that those people will be more fun. Oh, wow, we've got a bunch left. Why are we not... Tom, have you handed out all yours? So the imposter thing, the questioning yourself thing. I told this story last year, but I found that it resonates with people. I had a revelation 6-8 years ago when I started to do more in the investing world and more in the startup world. And I started not only work with people as a creative director, in a client agency sort of relationship, but as a collaborator, as a partner, as a co-founder. And some of these people would be geniuses. Hundreds of millions of dollars, hedge funds, multiple exits on crazy startups. And it became very obvious to me, no one knows what the fuck they're doing. There's no grown-ups. It's terrifying. No one. And so I was like, oh, and my therapist was like, no shit, I've been telling you that for years. And I'm like, I don't believe you. But, so I run a lot. And when people hear, and I hate admitting that, because running is not cool. Skateboarding and surfing and the running shoes I wear look like fucking Ronald McDonald had his feet exploded. They're hideous, but they help my knees not hurt. So I run a ton and I'm fast. I run pretty quickly. And when people who run hear the times I get, they're like, wow, that's and here's the thing. And these guys saw this last year, so I'll do the same demo. What is running? It's falling fucking forward. I just fall forward a little bit faster than other people. It's that simple. Obama, he falls forward really fucking fast. Steve Jobs, but the rest of us, we're just a tiny bit less, fast. And so that was a big revelation to me, is that there's no grown-ups. No one knows what they're doing. And so it's reassuring when you get into a room with people that are really intimidating or smart or successful to know that they've made 90% mistakes as well. So, other stories, other things I want to talk about. Negotiating. So I don't think, this is probably on our website, but I don't think it's in my deck. This is a cliche that you guys can use. Oh, we're losing some people. Damn. You better leave your balls in here. I guess, yeah, we ran out of beer and people leave. Whatever, fuckers. Well, the energy's been really shitty in here, so maybe those were the culprits. You guys are all good. I get it. I understand. They're a cancer. Good riddance. You never know what's going on in people's lives. Their mom could have just died or something, and I feel awful now. What was I saying? Negotiating. Okay, so I'm going to throw my partner on Lenona under the bus. So Ben, who's the CEO of Lenona, well, we needed some new equipment in the workshop in St. Paul, and there was a shoemaker / shoe repair company going out of business, like guy was retiring, and he had a bunch of gear, like big old machines listed, and I don't remember what, it was, $50,000 or something. And Ben was talking to this guy, and I was on vacation or something, so he hadn't talked to me. And I came back, and I was like, oh, so how are things going with the dude about the gear, about the equipment? He's like, oh, I offered him 25 grand. I was like, why? He's like, well, I figured I should start low. I was like, you're a dick. I was like, why? Why did you offer him 25 grand? He's like, I just figured we should start. I'm like, that guy spent 40 years building that business. And he's selling whatever he's got left for $50,000. And you have that audacity, with no justification at all, just offer him half for no fucking reason? No, like that's not how you negotiate. How you negotiate, for me anyway, is earnestly. If you went through the 10 machines that he had, found the condition of each one, find the price that's available out in the world, put that in a spreadsheet, put it together, give him a price. It might come out to be 15 grand, but it's justified, and show it to him and be like, here's what I think this is worth. Explain to me why I should pay 35 grand more than what I think it's worth, or what the market says it's worth. Then why should I do that? Instantly you go from being an asshole, this is hard to have this auxiliary audience here that I have to look at every once in a while. You go from being a dick to being someone that's like earnestly having a conversation with the guy. And I do that all the time. It drives my team bonkers, it drives the people I like, not bonkers, but it amazes people because it's disarming. I bought a house 10 years ago for like 60% less than what it was listed for. The people were like thanking me for it because I started with that kind of conversation. And so that's what I try to tell people. I had a really bad accident about a year ago, 6 months ago. I had myself and my dad, my mom and my wife, and then my son and my daughter in our camper van. And I pulled out into traffic because someone waved me out, and there were 2 lanes, and the person that waved me out didn't realize that there was another car going 50 miles an hour coming. So they slammed into the side of us. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. PSA here, wear your fucking seatbelt, please. And I got knocked out and head trauma, and I'm fine now, sorta, as you can tell. Keep losing my train of thought, like almost falling off the stage. But this isn't a woe is me story. It's actually pretty crazy because it was a 2003 Volkswagen Eurovan with a camper top and everything else. So not a sexy car, but a really cool car for our family. And it was like the nicest one in the country. And the insurance company offered me like 15 grand for it, which is worth like 20 grand more than that because there's so few of them around. I actually used that process and explained to the insurance reps what an R-squared value is on a chart in an Excel document, and I got the insurance company to give me $10,000 more. So if you can negotiate with a fucking insurance company while you're practically brain dead from getting hit, I think you guys could use that in your daily life. So last year, I ended with two stories. I was going to tell one last year, and I offered the audience the choice of a story about burritos or a story about marriage. And it was uncanny. All of the women in the audience said marriage, and all the dudes said burritos. So this year, we're going to do something similar. We have one story that's about babies and love, and just it's adorable and heartwarming. And we have another story that's about poop. See? Here, all right, let's hear, yell poop now if you want poop. Love. Wasn't it? There's men that love. It's true. It turns out. Okay. Well, so I'm going to start with the love story. And then if you guys want to start lining up at the, well, wait until I'm done with the love story and then line up for questions, okay? So love. When I was like shortly before the babies are terrorists, I hate you because you're keeping me awake moment with my daughter, and then saying like, but I love you and I want you not to be embarrassed of me when I'm old, when you're older. Before she was born, we tried to get pregnant for years, and it was super frustrating. I mean, it was like, you know, my wife would come home from the doctor, and she'd literally have like 2 grocery bags, and just like pour like syringes and pills and everything else out on the counter of all the fertility medicine and shit she had to be taking. We're lucky we didn't have like 17 babies. Ultimately we had to use the IVF model, you know, where it's all scientific. So my baby's bionic. And she also can't go to college because we spent all that money already. But long story short, I was super terrified because it was so much stress built up into the point of finally having my wife be pregnant. Every minute she was pregnant, I was just like, oh, fuck, is this going to work out? Is she going to survive? Like, is the baby going to make it? And the moment Izzy came out, I was a mess. I crumbled because it was like she was a perfect little human. Like, and she's crying and just like alive. I didn't touch her because it's fucking insane. They're terrifying when they're like, but then like I very quickly realized that wasn't like scary at all. Now it's terrifying. I have a human that's relying on me, and how am I going to take care of her? And so very quickly I realized as she got older that all of the kids around her were super fucking afraid of everything. And the only reason they were afraid of everything was because someone told them to be afraid of shit. When you're 1, 2, 3 years old, you have no a priori fear of anything. You'll pick up a fucking like a dirty bar off the ground and start licking on it. Like you're not afraid of anything. You'll jump off of anything unless someone tells you to be afraid of it. So my only parenting philosophy, the thing that gave me solace, was I am not going to let her ever be afraid of anything. And to this day, she's 8 now, I'm fucking freaked out constantly that I'm fucking her up and that my wife and I are not doing the right things or the best job for her and my son. But knowing that they're not afraid of anything makes me have confidence and not be afraid. And so that's that sort of damn right, I think I'm doing it right sort of feeling. All right, so now the poop story. This one's funny. But I'm going to say the word poop and shit a lot, if that's all right with everyone. Okay, so, and it's also about the kids, so anyone who hates kids. Everyone can start lining up if you want to ask questions, or not. A few years ago, this is when Izzy was 3, Hawken was 1. We're flying from Hawaii back to the mainland. We're in the Dallas airport, and Izzy had been constipated for like a week. And it's just me and the 2 little kids. They're boarding the plane, and they're like, families with small children, you can please board. And I'm like, all right, guys, let's go. 40 iPads, all this shit. And getting them on the plane, Izzy all of a sudden is like, Daddy? I gotta poop. And I was like, oh, fuck, we gotta do this. Like, because this is like, we've been waiting for this. And I text my wife, she's pooping, it's happening. And so I take him in the men's restroom in the airport. Giant, handicapped stall. Hawken is in like the pink stroller because we didn't buy him like a new stroller because we're assholes. So he's in like a little girl's stroller. And like, tie him in so he can't move. He's a year old. He's not going to do anything. Just put her on the toilet in the men's bathroom, and she's crying. Okay, here's the other thing. She likes the lights off and privacy when she poops. It's totally, like, you do that, right? No. So this is already uncomfortable for her because I'm like, she's like, Daddy, don't look at me. And I'm like, and so I'm like standing with my back to her. She's grunting and groaning and crying. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this is horrible. We're going to miss the plane. And she starts like, she's like, again. And then I go over. I'm going to get arrested if I say the next part of this story. So I look over, like behind her. And she's, is it called crowning? Is that what, like when a baby comes? Like, It's like a fucking like size 4 soccer ball. And like, and I'm just like, oh, and I start crying because I'm like, and then I'm like, and she's like, help me, Daddy. And I get in the other stall, get more, like, and you just have to like, and the whole time, now Hawken is screaming at me, and now I start helping, and I'm not going to describe what that is. And we're in the men's bathroom, and a little girl is screaming, Daddy, no, no, Daddy, no! So, long story short, we get that moved, and we get up, and I get her, and we run back to the gate, and they're like closing the door, and I'm like, fuck, please, just let us on. Like, the next flight isn't until tomorrow. I don't want to spend the night in Dallas, ever. And and so they're like, okay, and they just closed it, so they let us in. We get on the plane, and we had a full row at the bulkhead, so it's like 5 seats. We had 2 extra seats. Sit down, and I look over at Hawken, and he's one at the time. He's not really talking, and he's just got this giant grin on his face. And I'm like, oh, he has shit out into his hair. And I'm like, fuck, no! And I don't have any clothes for him, because I'm an idiot, and I didn't bring extra clothes for a 1-year-old. And so I take him, and the stewardess is like, the flight attendant's like, you can't get up. I'm getting up. And I take him in the bathroom, and he's screaming and freaking out because he had shit in his hair for like 10 minutes while his sister was doing that thing. And so I'm in the bathroom, in the tiny bathroom. There's poop all over the wall. It looks like a murder scene. I take my shirt off and like create some sort of like onesie out of a men's t-shirt for him. I'm disgusting. I'm dripping sweat mixed with other bodily things. Put him in the chair, strap him in, and all of a sudden Izzy's like, I had an accident. And so there was like an after, clear that dam, it's like all bets are off. And I look down, and there's a puddle of poop on the floor of the airplane. And we're now taxiing. And the whole plane reeks of shit. And I don't know what to do at this point. And so I literally wait till we take off, get up, go in the back. I'm like, I'm sorry, my daughter had an accident. Do you have anything I could clean it up with? They give me like 3 tissues. And I'm like, this is not going to be enough. So I ended up going in the bathroom, getting a bunch of paper towels, trying to clean it up, get her cleaned up, sit down, do the 7.5-hour flight. We arrive. As we're getting off the plane, and none of this is made up, this is all true, that old couple sitting across the aisle from us pulls me aside and they go, your children are precious. They're so well behaved. And that is an absolute microcosm of the context of success and failure. Because I have never felt like a bigger failure in my life than when I did a 7-hour flight covered in shit after screaming at my children. So that's what I have to say today. I would love to talk to anyone that has any questions. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. You're leaving, you're going to miss out. I'm going to wait till those guys leave, and then I'm going to tell them. All right, they left. Anyone who wants to email me, please do. I'm building an email list. I won't email you ever except for when this book comes out, which is probably 3 years from now. But if you want to email me, I will send out a few like fuck no shit yeah t-shirt gift bags to people either here at South by or otherwise. So if you want some free shit, just shoot me an email. That's my email address, m@ocupop.com. I'm at Ocubot on everything. So follow me, let's get in touch on Snapchat or follow me on Twitter or Instagram. Like I said, Say Shit Yeah is for the shit yeah stuff. Fuck no is fuck no stuff. Ocupop is our agency for website, linoneshoes.com. done schlocking, but I did want you guys to email me because I do want to give you some free shit. So please come back next year, and thank you again. Thank you guys so much. I'm sorry to make you do that.